Make yourselves quiet, tall. Join your palms. Pay homage to this practice and to that root teacher, Patanjali. Bow your head. Release your hands. Raise your head. Open your eyes. Now, got to start in the usual place. Adho Mukha Virasana. So, and we, of course, break that into pieces. So we sit in Virasana first with whatever support is necessary, as in a blanket to protect the knees. A different support to protect the ankles. Sit up straight first and really settle the legs. There are these two fundamental, well, there's two extremes in terms of matter, in terms of just physical existence. When you think of it the way I'm presenting it, one is compaction, contraction, density of matter. The other end of things is so much expansion that there's like dissolving, dissolution, expansion. We are somewhere in the middle. All of our muscles, bones, joints, lungs, liver are some degree of consolidation of matter combined with, because it's not infinitely compact, we have space as well. So some combination. You want to sit here and recognize that you are an exact and always balanced combination of earthiness, groundedness, settledness, and expansion. Take your arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Interlock your fingers. There is an expansion in what you're doing now. And in order to stretch your arms up over your head, keep stretching, change the interlock of the fingers, get a strap if necessary, but stretch, straighten the arms. In order to get that expansion, you have to do a little bit of contraction somewhere else. You've got to use your arm muscles, contract them in order to extend those arms. It's kind of an equal parts contraction, extension. Equal parts sitting down against the ground, lifting up into space. Release the arms, go forward with whatever support you need, bolster, blankets, nothing, brick under the head. You take the support that gives you a sense of stability, compactness, that sense of groundedness, but at the same time, there is an extension. in Adho Mukha Virasana, stretch the arms. If you're on a bolster, can you get the arms up onto the top of the bolster so that the armpits are also open? So if you push the bolster a bit forward, you can rest the chest and maybe chin on the bolster and get your elbows so the armpit is open, not closed. Come up tall. Now, Adho Mukha Virasana, coming up onto the hands and knees. The arms, if I've been saying for a couple weeks now, lengthen these bones. If you want to make some extension, you also need to compact the muscle to the bone. You've got to create some density. You have to establish in your own senses the lines of that bone. So you create some compactness of the muscle, and that helps you ground, and it helps support the lift. When you come off your knees, the same thing happens with the legs, pressing into the floor. Take hold of that bone with your muscle, and that allows you to lengthen that bone toward the knee joint, toward the foot, toward the hip. Arms toward their joints, shoulder blades expand toward their joints. And if you get that stability, you feel it really raises your sensitivity, your cognition of your arms and legs. It really gives you a sense of yourself on this sticky mat in this space. It's not a fuzzy sense. Create compactness, and this brings you your awareness of yourself. At the same time, that expansiveness, that extension that moves your bones toward their joints gives you the chance to expand. Once you get that length, the joint can expand. The expansion becomes possible through that compaction. Release, come out. Come to Uttanasana, half Uttanasana. Feet on the floor, hands on bricks as needed. Stretch your legs straight, press those heels straight down. Yes. Draw the thighs up. Gay, your knee is still bothering you, yes? I see it's not straight.
I can't completely straighten it in some positions, but it's a lot better. It's swollen too, so it looks even more better.
Yes. Okay, come out, stand up. Stand upright. I'm gonna raise this up just a bit. Gay, most definitely have a chair at your disposal. Get a chair. Also, if you've got a foam brick, get a foam brick. It's just comfy. If you don't have a foam brick, use a wood brick. You need a brick. Okay. This is what it looks like. I'm just bracing a foam brick. It's not quite necessary, but it's just braced. Okay, so if I were to go to the right side, my toes would go up that foam brick. And the left leg would go away. This is for anybody who wishes to try. It's a lovely thing. And I'm hoping, Gay, that it helps you take some pressure off the knee. You need a longer stance, Gay.
Devon, could you
And
demo that again for a sec?
Yes, I will show you again.
Thank you.
I'm using a wall, so I bring this close enough that if necessary, I can take support. My foot is bent so that if you see this, the shin and the foot are kind of at a right angle instead of at a much more oblique angle. And then I take the usual size stance. What this tends to do is put weight heavily on the back foot. Can you notice that? It just sends weight to the back foot. So, Gay, it's difficult for you to straighten that leg, but I want you to put some weight on the heel and put some weight on the base joints of the toes. And the rest of you lift the toes, press through the metatarsal and the heel, weight equal. Metatarsal and heel. This makes you use your front thigh, I think. Gay, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Or is it okay?
I'm okay.
Turn your back heel in, heel out, toes in. Back foot, Gay. Heel out, toes in. And just be as upright in the trunk as you can. Everybody except Gay, take Trikonasana. Spread. Wait before you go down. There's this thing I was talking to you about, the compaction and expansion. So you need to compact the legs, lengthening from that compaction around the bones. You get extension. Expand the arms along the bones. Release those joints. You get freedom in the trunk from the compaction of the arms and legs. Make what there is this interaction. If you make your legs weak, there will be, inhale, come up, come up. If you make your legs weak, there will be less spaciousness in the trunk. This core of you this nervous system core of you is the thing that ultimately needs to retain its spaciousness, right? That's like the prime directive. So the arms can be, these muscles are help you, any muscle compacts to consolidate your, how do you say, I think, get ready for side 2, please. Set your foot up, create the distance between the legs and be here for a bit. Keep working toward being upright in the trunk. And even toes in, heel out slightly. And this foot straight forward. Weight, pressure equal, heel and toes. Okay, you okay in this leg? Make sure your foot is even on the floor, the foot of the challenged leg, knee. In the big picture, you have to first establish this shape. That involves consolidation, compaction through the limbs. Once the shape is established, then you can find the space inside it. You can carve out ways to get to that space. Taking Trikonasana, use your arms and legs and their compaction to expand the trunk, to expand the passageways that your breath moves through. You need firmness in the limbs, firmness in the muscles to preserve or increase that interior space. And I mean that in the sense of increasing it with awareness. Passive space is not conscious space. Inhale, come up. Turn the feet. Like Shavasana, all the relaxation that you find that comes to you in sleep is not recoverable necessarily in conscious life. You don't remember that experience, but yoga makes conscious what is happening. I want to do Adho Mukha Svanasana one more time. And Gay, you take your heels onto some height. Let's put these bricks long, short side to the wall. You could even make 2 bricks, like a stack of 2 bricks high. Anybody else who wants to try this, you can. This is to take weight off the knees. So you, and the lower body. If you're like this, you put the base joints on those bricks, hip width. Raise the heels. So the compaction brings you awareness of arms, legs, joints, structure, shape. Gaze, start with your feet on the floor. Now when you step up, put your base joint on the front edge of that brick. Do not put your heels on the wall. Lift your heels. perch on the front edge and go up. So this compaction establishes the shape and the form of you. Now become extremely expansively sensitive through the sense of touch. Compact the muscle, expand the sensitivity of the skin. It's like the exhalation expands the skin. The inhalation reinforces this structure. Release, come out. Take a strap. You may also need a bolster or bolster plus blankets. Here's what we're looking for when I say bolster plus blankets. You need a height. You need a height that is about the height of your hips. So let's see. Here's this. Now I have to change the camera. Here's that bolster, and here's me on my side. So this is close to the width of my hips, not quite, but close. And if you're one of those people with a hip replacement, you might make this height really exactly match this height of the hip. But get close. You see this is like a bolster and 2 or 3 blankets folded. That's the idea of the height you need. Okay. Now, we're not going to use it for a while. Move it aside, or at least move the top blankets aside. You might use some of it. All right, so lying on the back, gay. Here's a use for a blanket for you. Make a roll that is customized to the back of that knee that won't straighten. So you've got a ground, and that swollen, puffy knee has something comfortable. That fuzziness when there's an injury in the knee is uncertainty. And putting a comfortably rolled blanket gives it stability. That's what you want. So if it feels better slightly below, slightly above, or exactly centered on the knee joint, you find out. Not everybody needs this blanket, only the knee injuries. Otherwise, you'd be flat on the floor. Karen, of course, you stay with the feet slightly parallel because of bursa. And how is your hip, Karen? Good. So can you use those bolsters to go lateral and have enough support? Okay, line your back. Have a strap. I haven't necessarily considered everybody here, but those blankets are in case you need them. We're doing Trikonasana on the floor. Bend up the right leg. Those who can, catch the big toe and straighten the leg up. If you cannot, catch the strap and straighten the leg up. Right arm straight, all arms straight, all legs straight. Undertake this kind of compaction that again awakens the leg, energizes it, extends it in space, and compacts it in space. Now release those joints. Take the leg to the side. Straight arm, Monica. Don't bend the elbow. Walk out straight with that hand. All right. Hang on. Bring the leg up. We have to do this again. When you do Trikonasana, your hand is close to this foot, even if you're in a shallower pose, less intense pose. See how close my hand is to the foot. Okay, so when you do Supta Padangusthasana, you should not let yourself get away from the foot that far. This is how far it was. See that I measured on my shin. This is how far it was. This is how far it should, at least it could get closer perhaps to your hand, but it should stay where you had it when you were standing. Okay, don't let this go way out and let your elbow bend and your foot go way down. So Monica, raise the leg back up to vertical. Monica, take your leg back up to vertical and walk up that strap. Walk up that strap. And as you take the leg off to the side, it should be possible for you to keep the leg staying perpendicular. Yes, now more towards your head. Can you pull that foot more? Yes, that means walk up the strap. This is far better than that other pose. I'm very happy now. I hope you are too. Spread the arms. There is equal parts compaction and expansion, especially in the trunk, pelvis, abdomen, chest, throat, head. There should be a clear passageway, no matter what the shape of these muscles, bones. Come up, inhaling, and release that foot, come out. Two legs straight on the floor temporarily, so you're aware of the effect of your work. Then, if you need to shift props, please do. Bend up the left knee. Now remember, your Trikonasana. Catch the big toe if you were close to it. If you could touch the floor with your fingers, if you could touch your ankle, get that hand to an ankle to foot length, short distance. Stretch the arm. Stretch the legs. You know, when you leave your arm and leg weak, it's as if you're leaving a kind of fuzzy imprint of yourself on the pose. Make yourself a sharp imprint of this pose. Gather those arm and leg muscles. Sharpen your sensation. Expand the skin, compact the muscle. Take the leg to the side. Get as close to that foot as you can before you go sideways, so that foot stays perpendicular, if not above the perpendicular, close to your shoulder. Yes. Tighten the strap if possible. Sharpen. You think about this as, for a moment, as a psychotherapeutic effort. Declare yourself in this pose, right? Sharpen the activity of arms and legs evenly. Hands, feet, arms, legs, hips, shoulders, shoulder blades, your breath, right? An engagement of you to make this pose. And in the midst of that expression, that sharpened engagement of the self with the pose, expand. Out to the skin, beyond the skin. I'll be precise. Expand 1 1/2 feet beyond your skin. 18 inches. Come up. And release that foot. Come out. So hopefully you can feel the difference in sensation between when you really try to compact inwardly and when you do that and combine it with that outward expansion. I hope you feel it increases comfort in the pose radically, and it changes the state of mind and senses. Now, we're going to do a twist. That's where this big pile of props comes in. So I'm going to go sideways. Oh, and I think this means this is my right side. Okay, I'm not, you must watch. I'm a distance away from this support. Not quite a leg length. Gay, you might arrange this so this support supports your knee. Lands on the knee. The rest of you, it should land toward your ankle heel. Okay, so the leg comes up, you've got a strap, and you catch it with the opposite hand, and you imagine you're in Trikonasana again. You're approaching as close as you can. And you roll. Now you gotta watch this. You're rolling. I'm getting my hand out of the way so you see the whole side rolls to take this leg down. So my pelvis has come into the roll. This leg on the floor has rolled to its side, and my ribs and trunk remain on the floor. The head stays looking at the ceiling. Okay, so establish your parts and then take that leg over. Some of you may feel more comfortable holding with the opposite hand. some with the same side hand. Now, okay, just make sure that knee joint is supported and you can operate at least to that right elbow. Okay, even if you can't straighten the arm, get the right elbow down on that floor. So, Karen, you have to be dead sure that that foot is at or higher than hip level, right? And it's the bursa we're discussing. And make sure your sacrum, Karen, put your hand on your back pelvis and smooth that back hip up and toward your right hip. Yes. Feed the bursa. That's it. Now see if you can roll your shoulder back to the floor. Yes, yes, yes. So don't pull away from that bursa with the pelvis. You understand? Yeah, keep that bursa compact. Now, to come out. Monica, I know you're just getting set there. That's fine. You be there for a while. Pelvis perpendicular. Now really stretch the floor leg, Karen. Really stretch the floor leg. Yes. The rest of you come out very carefully. Karen, feel free to help your leg out. Any two-handed help. Good. Release, then bend your knee, come down to the floor. Stretch both legs straight. Use that support as needed. Gay. Be straight, Karen. Don't be crooked. Look down the length of your body, everybody. I don't see everything, but make sure you are straight on your sticky mat. Okay. There is compaction, there is expansion. The compaction is felt muscle to bone. The expansion is felt through the skin, through the sense of touch and beyond the skin. Take up the left leg. Left leg straight, get close to that foot as you would in a standing pose. Make sure your bolster pile is close to the ankle or the knee. Now, Karen, when you roll onto that outer hip, make sure that you feel that thigh bone. When you get onto that side, it should feel flat on the floor, not like a bump of a bone on the floor. You want to compact it into the hip socket. You'll see. Roll. Stretch your right leg, right thigh in the socket, beyond the outer right hip, outer right knee, foot. Left. Nope, that is the right leg. The left is on top. Make sure your sacrum, everybody put your hand on your sacrum and smooth. You can feel that sacrum is vertical or not. So you need to smooth upward that left side of this, not towards your head, but toward the ceiling. Smooth up toward the ceiling and toward your left foot so that sacrum really is perpendicular to the shoulders. Shoulders horizontal on the floor, pelvis vertical. You should reach through that left leg toward the foot, left buttock toward the foot. right leg toward the foot. Karen, I hope this pressure on the outer right thigh feels good, feels cooling and happy. It reinforces the bone in the socket. That's what we're trying to get at here. Compaction by means of gravity. Keep the sharpness in the extension of the muscles, bones. Keep the expansiveness through the skin. It's almost like, it's not almost like, it is exactly like the breath can help you here. The breath can be used to enhance compaction. It can also be used to enhance expansion. Come out carefully, slowly, with awareness. Excuse me. Roll to your side, come up sitting. I want to protect these knees and these hips. So 2 bolsters, if you have 2 bolsters. If you don't, you need bolsters plus blankets. Here's what bolsters plus blankets would look like. You basically make a bolster out of blankets, you pile them up. And if you use them efficiently, like here's one blanket turned toward its narrow side and folded in thirds, I get a little more height and I still have a fine width. It's not too narrow and it's a little bit higher. So I make something that looks like about a bolster height. Then I put another bolster on top of it and I call it cross bolsters. And this took 3 blankets to make this pile. Always blankets. So I have maybe a blanket that will go under my shoulders. And maybe I've got some bricks to go under my feet. Now we're going to do different things here, but have a strap. So you sit, you sit on the end of this bolster and you arrange it so when you come over, you do not have to bring your shoulders exactly to the floor. If that disturbs the neck. If you see this, I've got a space here. I can slide my hand. That's what this blanket is good for. I roll that blanket and it just fills up that space quite comfortably. Then you work out where the spine is, if it's happy on this curve, pelvis high, tailbone going toward the legs, but there is a balance again. There has to be an ability to expand here. this frequently gets sticky. So once that's safe, you can stretch your legs out, either using these bricks or the floor, according to your capacity. And I'm going to come out, but I hope you see the basic shape and the basic landmarks. This top of the pelvis is basically on top of this curved platform, and the legs stretch away toward the feet. The angle of stretch is according to your capacity, high bricks, low bricks. Is now plenty, I don't know plenty, but out of this size group of people, I can pretty much imagine that, oh, I'm just going to guess 2 of you, I don't know which 2, but 2 are not comfortable. 2 of you are feeling a little stuck, compaction where there should be expansion. What are we going to do about that? There's an internal adjustment. Sometimes it's, yes, an arrangement on the props, a shift of position on the prop. Sometimes it's a refinement of position. So you get, say, the arms, shoulder blades, legs a bit sharper in their activity. All those instructions you've heard: roll the thighs in, broaden the back thigh, extend from the groin. Deflate the abdomen, inflate the chest, widen the ribs, widen the anchor muscles of the diaphragm. Certain things in this trunk need to expand. So gay, stretching the legs there. The instruction last time was wake up the foot and the shin, wake up the thigh, but skip the knee. The compaction actions go where you can feel them, where the injury, it doesn't make things fuzzy. You just skip the fuzziness and compact elsewhere. Release the abdomen. Release that region just in front of the spine. All the way up, all the way down. Now, please begin to come out. One thing at a time. If there is stiffness, respect it, pause, wait. You may, if you're not too high in the curve, you may roll sideways. Most of you will feel more comfortable sliding toward the head. It's a personal choice. Okay, so here you are with some props still. So take one or two of those. Could be bolster, could be blankets. It's very much a choice. You're going to sit for a seated twist, a short seated twist. Now, Gay, use a chair. Most certainly sit in a chair. Anybody else who's sitting, you also, Karen, chair. Those who are sitting on blankets on the floor, I'll show from the side also. The knees should be on the floor and the hips on the blanket. So both knees are seated on the floor. And all you need is the right buttock on the blanket. The left buttock at this time need not be on the floor. Now, an expansive twist. An expansive twist means this arm comes back onto a brick on the floor, or if there is a bolster or long blanket, you catch the back of that long blanket and take your hand toward your knees. So there's this widening action. Now, compact the shin, lengthen the shins as you would in Virasana. Lengthen the thigh bones toward the knees, toward the hips. Get that groundedness, that compact, earthy engagement of the lower body. Lift your trunk, widen your elbows. Be sensitive to the interior space. Work as if you were revolving this twist with your skin. Come out. Stretch your legs. Help those legs. Those who are in chairs, you don't necessarily have to stretch your legs. You can be comfortable. Sit as high as necessary. I should say, as I'm sitting a bit too high for me, except on my bad hip side. I won't call it bad hip, but my challenging hip side. I'm taking height for that side. Right? Don't over compact. If there's an injury, one of the big clues is something can't expand. Something is collapsed. You can't find space. It is simultaneous. Stretch the limbs. Create that firmness of awareness that gives freedom of breathing on the inside. Begin turning expansively. Spread your skin. So you have to feel, Karen, the stability in that hip joint that's not letting it sort of slosh into the wrong position. where it irritates the bursa. And come out. Okay. You now, let's see. I would like to put you in a supported shavasana. So elevate the spine on not much blanket. It can be 1 or 2 thin-ish blankets. 1 or 2, very much your choice. And a support for your head. Also, gay bolsters, 2 of them. 2 bolsters. 1, and I'm using blankets because they're nearby, as a second bolster. But the reason you want 2 is because you want the knee and shin and ankle supported. This is for the knee injury. And tuck the buttocks on the floor. The buttocks are not on the blanket. The blanket is for the spine. So, okay, make sure that bolster is in very, very comfortably so it supports the thigh side of the knee and the calf side of the knee. So you really feel the whole thing has a nice cushion. Anybody else who wants to work this way, because especially if the knees have history, it's a nice thing. Okay, ankles, heels supported, and the knees supported from just above. So even in Shavasana, you can feel the dual nature of this body and its way of being. Part of it is quite solid, heavy, compact, dense. Even in complete relaxation, you can feel its response to gravity, right? This is in space, in the cosmos, the way stars and planets come together is that their mass is attracted to itself, gravity, and they draw together and become compact. So you are, in a sense, your own little planet right here, your own little consolidation of matter. And you can feel that. Your breathing pattern, half of your breathing pattern reminds you of that earthiness and density and compactness and form. The other half, the breath, reminds you of space. Whatever has no density and compactness is space. If you, if the cough is hard to change, turn to your side. Rest on your side. Big pillow under the head, extra blanket, be comfy. Not everybody must turn to the side. Someone is coughing. So this is the interesting part. For some of us, the inhalation feels like the expansion. And the exhalation feels like consolidation. For others, it's the opposite. The inhalation reminds us of our form, and the exhalation letting go of that form. Bring yourselves back. So